I had never made a call to Diddy. I got Diddy's number, just hit him up. Yo, Diddy, what up? Never happened.
He told me to take me shop. I looked at him like, what you just said?
Woo. This is a tight one. And the winner is Eminem, the Eminem Show.
Wait, he didn't just spell the word rapper and leave out a P, did he? Yep.
The new lawsuit coming with Jay. The part with Jay. I go, oh, shoot, like.
That's right. To us, Black excellence.
That had to be there.
We getting tighter, you know what I'm saying? And united we stand, and ain't nothing else.
Black excellence, they're sitting there like, yeah. It's a billionaire brunch.
Oh,
like,
I hate you, man.
unaware of anything going on here. This is the one time I'm going to be with you this year. Yeah.
Come
on, bro.
You guys don't need to worry about me getting revenge from Diddy. I've got 3 moves that make sure he'll never be able to come after me or my family. First, I personally reached out to the victims' legal teams. The real reason he's not getting out is those buried cases behind the scenes. I provided legal funding for 7 victims who had been silent for years and brought in the top criminal attorneys in the country. Second, I bought up every potential post-release business deal he had lined up. I planned this 2 years in advance, so by the time he got sentenced and still had hope of getting out, every partner had already cut ties with him. Third, I don't just have evidence, I've got backups. This is an entire minefield that's been buried for 20 years. I uncovered every secret from the last 30 years. With testimonies from the victims, we interviewed over a dozen people he tricked, threatened, or violated. You think that's harsh? No, he destroyed other people's lives for decades. I'm just making sure he spends a few extra years in prison for it. I'm not afraid of his people, not afraid of his threats. I know he's still in there fantasizing about a comeback, but the truth is, he's never coming back.
That's why I don't be going to them puffy parties. They can hug you from the front and the back at the same time. What the fuck you talking about? Look, if you're into that, I'm fine with it. To get you some. I'm just saying this ain't my down the party. I like it. It's uncomfortable. I think I belong in the girls' bathroom. Like that is good.
The reason why their groups are so close is because all of them have a certain type of STD. I think they all got the alphabet. Now, bear with me, guys, because I'm not even trying to cap. I looked at it like this. You know they're not using condoms, right? So if you're in a party not using condoms, it ain't like you could catch something twice, right? You know, and so if you already got something, ain't like you can catch it again. So I believe, one of my theories is that these people at these Diddy parties were so close because they all had STDs.
I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participate. So
was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what's going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that 50. All of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal.
Hip-hop has long been driven by larger-than-life personalities, relentless competition, and stories that refuse to stay buried. Few rivalries have lingered as persistently or played out as publicly as the long-running tension between 50 Cent and Diddy. What began as a subtle rivalry between 2 influential New York figures gradually hardened into nearly 2 decades of visible friction, with 50 Cent repeatedly revisiting the conflict whenever the spotlight allowed. Recently, however, the tone has shifted from sarcasm to something more serious. 50 Cent has suggested he holds first-hand insight into events that allegedly occurred behind closed doors at Diddy's highly exclusive gatherings, hinting that several recognizable industry figures were present, fueling fresh speculation across the music world. To understand how their dynamic reached this point, you have to go back to the early 2000s, when 50 Cent was rebuilding his career after surviving a near-fatal attack and being dropped by his label. During that period, he was writing anonymously just to stay financially afloat. He later revealed that one of those behind-the-scenes contributions was ultimately performed by Diddy on G-Dep's Let's Get It, a quiet crossover that placed both artists within overlapping circles without forming any true partnership. From that uneasy intersection, the tension never fully faded. Instead, it lingered beneath the surface for years, gradually intensifying until it evolved into the very public clash that continues to capture attention today.
Living after being shot 9 times.
I don't know what the criteria are for street credibility. Or
That's
if there's something that creates more merit for you. I looked at like that experience is something that was unfortunate that I had to.
I forget, why did the guy shoot you 9 times? Was it drugs or something?
He was paid to do it.
He was paid to do it.
Yeah.
Who would want to
Why
shoot
were you targeted?
You're such a good guy.
This is my past.
It was a drug thing,
No,
like
it's
a
just-
business thing.
Karma.
Karma.
Explain to me again why this guy was hired to shoot you 9 times.
Well, you was paid because someone, felt like that I would potentially do something to them if they kept going in the direction that they were going.
Man, you are tough.
What are you talking about?
The fact that somebody put out a hit on him because he was going to f somebody up? What kind of shit is that? That's crazy.
But what is this all over?
I don't know.
It's difficult to explain, Robin, because you're not actually in the environment or involved in this
Just
type of
You
explain
can
it.
explain it to
Explain
me.
it. We'll see if we can follow it.
Nah, man, it's just,
What happened? What had you?
it's
What,
so tough.
You were pissed off at someone and you were going after them. What were you pissed off about?
Nah, we was just having differences.
Oh, like over what? A woman?
Nah,
No
just
way.
going back and forth. Like a guy got robbed in the actual neighborhood.
And he accused you of robbing.
Nah, he just seen me communicating with someone who actually
robbed him.
And he misinterpreted the conversation because he seen me laughing and us talking, but he didn't know I grew up with the guy.
You're talking to a guy who you don't even know up this other guy.
Yeah.
And now all of a sudden they think you're in cahoots with this guy.
Yeah, because you see you laughing and talking, they figure you laughing and talking about them.
Pain-wise, how bad is it to get shot in the face? Like, I mean...
Probably... I don't know how to describe that outside of...
Is it a 10 on the pain scale?
It's not really like... Because it's not as painful as having to visit the dentist repeatedly for root canal.
Really? Do you think you're dead at that point when you can take 9 bullets? Do you go, oh, this is it, I'm checking out?
Oh, it's a life-threatening situation. It's just not... I've seen people going to the hospital under circumstances that were way less intense and not come out.
Yeah, it's a miracle you live. Did you think you were like Jesus had like saved you or something? Like, did you have a religious?
Where were all these bullets?
Oh yeah, you have those moments where you get a little closer connection to your higher power because you kind of don't have an answer.
But where were all these bullets? Because if you're shot 9 times and you live, it probably didn't hit anything important.
Meanwhile, how lame is this guy who shot you?
Everything's important, Robin. Everything's important.
But 50, how lame is this guy?
You in one of your unimportant areas, Robin.
Yeah, right. What's an unimportant area? You're right.
What the?
Oh yeah, he shot you in unimportant areas. Do you,
Talking medically.
but it's amazing your face isn't scarred from getting shot in the face, right?
I got the little dimple.
Oh, is that what?
By the early 2000s, 50 Cent was rapidly rising into the spotlight as one of hip-hop's most outspoken and uncompromising voices, rarely holding back when it came to confronting others publicly. Diddy soon became a frequent target, but this went beyond typical industry rivalry. Beneath the exchanges was a persistent sense of skepticism that never seemed to fade. Instead of easing the tension, 50 Cent intensified it, using interviews, social media, and even his own television platforms to keep attention fixed on the issue. At times, his remarks were delivered with humor, but more often they carried a sharper edge, suggesting deeper concerns as he questioned Diddy's conduct, challenged the image presented to the public, and repeatedly pointed to what he saw as inconsistencies between the persona on display and what might exist behind the scenes.
And it's like all of the Puff's problems are coming from the ministers touching little boys.
What you mean?
The laws are the way they are because
Because of the priests.
The priests touching little boys.
Oh. Why are we looking at me, bro? I just go to church. I just go to church, right? I have nothing to do with this. I have an alibi.
That's why the laws allow you to go that far back.
Turn away from you right there. I'm just a Catholic kid. Go on. You've been diddled, dude. No. What's the body of Christ taste like? It's sacrilegious. You can't do that.
He's like, yo, drink my blood.
Yo. So it is crazy when after 20 years they come out. That is foul.
But with Puffy, you were the only one saying anything for decades.
Yeah, because we had our own little thing.
But you were the only. Everybody else is scared.
Huh?
But everybody else is scared. So you think maybe this is a similar thing where everybody else is scared? I don't know what it is. I'm just asking.
I think that they're scared.
But if they're scared, then that's what I'm thinking.
Insinuating Jay-Z a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you've been saying people gonna come for him a little bit.
No, I thought he would do funky stuff like the Super Bowl. Like it was not okay for me to be at the Super Bowl.
Oh, he tried to cut that.
Yeah, he didn't want me to. Well, they worked to make like there was an issue with me in the NFL that doesn't exist.
So he did the corporate way of trying to keep you down. Oh, it's not me, it's them.
It's them. And then when M says he's not gonna do it if I'm not there, then
let's go.
Yeah.
That's what's your and Jay's issue?
It's just competitive stuff.
It's really just competitive.
This is what I'm saying. When it gets past actual art, like actual music, and you're trying to block something that's in business, then it feels weird. It feels like we should be having beef.
Oh,
okay.
So that's the behind the scenes thing that we don't see. It's one thing when there's like people talking about each other in music, but there's behind the scenes business deals that a guy is getting involved with on the side, and it's not like you're gonna go public and be like, they tried to stop my vitamin water.
This deal, and you go, he said that to you, like.
Wow.
Like they'll speak to your temperament. Like say, if 50's a little crazy, he'll say anything. You see what saying anything did to Kanye.
So they're trying. He's basically trying to scare people out of doing you.
He later announced plans for a full-scale documentary series centered on Diddy and the growing wave of claims and controversies associated with his name, signaling that this was far more than a spur-of-the-moment online jab. Instead, it was presented as a deliberate, carefully organized project intended to examine what he described as the lesser-seen side of one of the music industry's most powerful figures. By May, 50 Cent had reportedly secured a deal to sell the rights to Netflix, ensuring the story would extend beyond headlines and speculation. With the backing of a major global platform, the project was positioned to reach a wide international audience and carry significantly greater visibility and impact.
Thank you. Now let's get to a few of this morning's other big headlines.
Starting with a bombshell announcement amid the mounting lawsuits against Sean Diddy Combs, Houston rapper 50 Cent announced yesterday that he's the executive producer of a docuseries about the assault and allegations against Combs. The series will also discuss trafficking and racketeering charges Combs is facing. The series is expected to make a premiere on Netflix, but a date has not yet been set.
So you have something huge coming up, which is a documentary about P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, P. Diddy.
Yeah.
Did he do it, right? I know you've been heavy on social media talking about it.
He did it. And I'm the only one who's been vocal about this long before it actually.
Oh, you've been saying this for a long time now. And then no one was, they're just, why is he saying this? And now it's coming out like crazy.
But I also didn't participate. I also didn't go to those parties.
Yeah.
So a lot of the celebrity culture that you don't hear saying anything is because they participated.
Was there a reason you never went to those parties back in the day? Obviously, I know what's going on there, but is there a reason you never did?
I'm just not with all that freaky. All of the stuff that he's doing, I'm not into that type of stuff. I'm just a little more, maybe you could say basic or normal. You go to the 90s, and PPD said they paid him to kill Tupac.
Yeah.
So look, you get the craziest accusations. You had TMZ created a docuseries. They went to Tubi, but the series is saying the downfall of Diddy.
You're one of the first persons in entertainment to really call out people and kind of have that authority in that, to be able to call people out. I mean, which is pretty amazing. You're kind of, in some ways, draining the swamp of Hollywood.
I don't have a support system. I don't have a support system of peer group of artists that I require to do what I'm doing. I've had to be on my own from the beginning. So I don't necessarily have a responsibility to behave a certain way, according to them. And if I didn't have an award-winning director doing it, if I hadn't put the right people in place to produce it properly, I would understand why they would question or doubt anything.
Let me ask you this: do you think she knew what he was doing? I believe she knew he was doing the freak-offs, but do I believe she knew he was allocating different monies to different places and which way it was going, which offshore accounts, which Swiss banks accounts, and all this shit was going in? Nah. I think she just was enjoying the fruits of the labor.
But why you believe she knew about the freak-offs?
Because one of the witnesses said she was there. And do you remember this, bro? Check it out. people tell off on themselves so much, man, and I don't understand when people don't catch it. Diddy has said this. He said, when I give a party, I have to have an ambulance outside of the house. Paramedics ready. That people have to take IVs. Remember the time that him and his mama kissed each other on the lips?
Yeah, I remember that video.
Do you remember that both of them was getting an IV at the same time?
Yeah, I did notice that, bro.
That's from the Diddy freak off party. And I'm gonna say allegedly.
So let me ask you this. You knowing her as a you knowing her personally, is she the kind of person that, will be a part of a freak off with her?
I think that she liked to party, and she party with young people. She's always been like that.
But to get back to this lawsuit, right? Lil Rod, he also alleges that, Diddy, he will grope his genitals and he will grope his anus.
My man, I didn't understand that one right now because his anus is your asshole. His genitals is his nut. So I guess he had to be naked when Puff was doing that. Where was he at? What was he doing? Because he said that they never had. So if you read it in the thing, they never had. He made claims that they never had. But how would he grope your anus? Your asshole? How would he play with your genitals?
Yeah, it don't make sense. I mean,
it don't make sense. How you wake up butt the F naked with two other men in the bed with Diddy and nothing happened? I think he was just trying to save face, man.
But do you think it's a possibility that he meant that, Diddy will grope his, butt, instead of anus? I mean, because I'm trying to figure out how does that work, somebody groping your anus.
You gonna say your butt. The lawyer would say, what do you mean? He would say, my butt cheeks. There's a such thing called butt cheeks. Your two cheeks. He said anus. The anus is the asshole. How did he get that far? Lil Rod, you gotta say no to Diddy something. No, that shit ain't funny, man. But you gotta say no.
So from you reading the lawsuit, right, you feel like he had relations with Diddy?
When me being a former investigator, I think Lil Rod was trying to save face on certain things, that he had somewhat of a relationship or he was doing some things with Diddy that he didn't want to really come out in that fashion. Because there's no way that he gonna wake up and his anus is hurting and his genitals is all over the place and he's in the bed after being drunk or drugged and saying nothing happened. And you think that Diddy gonna be in the bed with 3 other men and nothing happened? It doesn't sound logical. If we're reading and believing what he said in those papers. If you woke up in bed and you was drunk or intoxicated on ecstasy, on whatever drugs that they put in there, roofied you or whatever, and you not and you not feeling right, something is wrong. Wouldn't you say? Something is wrong. He didn't say, we woke up with all my clothes. He said, we woke up butt the F naked.
For now, the aftermath is still developing, but 50 Cent continues to insist that documented material exists and will eventually come to light. Following the conclusion of Diddy's trial, the most serious accusations were not upheld. However, the court did return a conviction on lesser charges related to unlawful transportation, a result that intensified public scrutiny and, for some observers, echoed concerns that had circulated quietly for years. For 50 Cent, the moment wasn't treated as a joke or a headline-grabbing punchline. Instead, he framed it as a turning point. He pointed to the outcome as evidence, in his view, that the public image surrounding the mogul had been carefully managed, arguing that the verdict revealed inconsistencies between perception and reality. He has also suggested that his commentary over the years was never random provocation, but part of a longer pattern of warnings, positioning his past remarks as something he now describes as substantiation rather than spectacle.
The violation I have experienced during the assault has had lasting effects on my body, causing ongoing health problems and complications. The combination of physical and emotional pain has created a cycle of suffering from which it is so hard to break free. I want to continue on this journey towards recovery and healing. I'm glad that he is locked up, but that's a temporary feeling of relief.
The fallout only seemed to strengthen 50 Cent's momentum. Once court documents and official findings became part of the public record, it grew more difficult for critics to dismiss his past warnings as mere noise. In hip-hop, perception and credibility carry real weight, and his approach has rarely appeared impulsive. Instead, each move has come across as deliberate. By connecting the renewed legal attention surrounding Diddy to a broader documentary effort with Netflix, he has kept the conversation active well beyond the traditional news cycle. Through frequent commentary on social media, he continues to react to each development in real time, sustaining public interest while carefully avoiding direct claims about individuals not formally named. Online, nearly every post fuels debate and speculation. Within the industry itself, the relative quiet has been just as noticeable, interpreted by some as caution or self-preservation, given that influence, alliances, and reputations remain at stake. Many appear reluctant to speak publicly while the situation continues to evolve. 50 Cent, however, now operates from a position that extends beyond music into film, television, and other business ventures, giving him a degree of independence that reduces reliance on industry approval. That autonomy allows him to remain an active voice in shaping the conversation, questioning established narratives, and pushing discussions that others may prefer to handle more quietly.
His thing was turning straight men gay. That was his thing. Where's Hype? What's his last film project?
Belly?
Yeah, DMX was a star in that.
Facts. Facts. Jab, my question to you is, and again, we're just talking the psychology of a man.
What if the entertainment industry is nothing but a cover for a worldwide dream?
You mentioned who's on tapes and who got tapes out.
Yeah.
The purpose of having a recorded freak off.
Yeah.
What does that do for the male? What does that do for the female? Like, some females are cool with it. What is the thought behind that as far as, let's record this session and either rewatch, keep it for sale? Is it evidence? Is it just, like, what is the mentality behind having
if you can
the
own
visual memory?
Their vulnerability, if you can own that, you have the ability to control and manipulate that person. See, guys start off by saying, "Oh, man, I don't want to watch porn. I just want to watch us." See, that's the line.
That's the line.
Would you rather me be watching us than watching a bunch of other? See, the finesse, that fluff. Do you really want me watching anybody else but you? I could look at you all day. Vanity. See, make her feel special. Make her feel like she's the only, the object. Meanwhile, this is sitting here thinking, so her daddy works at Sony and I need such and such's contract ended.
Does it also work this way for men?
Absolutely. And it's worse for the men. Women are used to being the victims of, not men. No man walks in thinking that another man is looking at him like a lollipop. Not a straight man. You are only hip to the that you hip to. You know what I mean? Which is why you hear so many people say they went to Diddy parties and they felt like something was off and decided to leave, or they got invited to another room and they decided to go because they felt like it wasn't right, or whatever the case may be. These is literally walking in there not thinking. Seriously, like, but the thing is, they were still willing to take the chance to go because everybody's been hearing these.
For 50 Cent, this has moved far beyond retaliation or spectacle. He frames it as a matter of accountability and consequence. He has been clear in stating that he wants Diddy to answer for his actions and has shown a willingness to apply pressure from multiple directions to keep that focus intact. That approach includes using public platforms, developing long-form narratives through documentary projects, and signaling that wider truths may emerge as the process continues, all while remaining within defined boundaries. The message is intentional and consistent. This is not attention-driven noise, but a sustained effort to keep the spotlight in place, prevent difficult questions from fading, and ensure responsibility is not quietly avoided.
They do nothing Puffy did. Yeah, no, it was just so excitement. There's so much excitement that there was no reason for me to put something in our drink. I need you to remember. I need you to remember this.
The foundation.
Thank you.
Haven't liked each other business-wise for a long time.
Well, that's why it's only business. It was really away from that. I explained why I didn't hang out with him, right? Because
It's not your scene.
It's not my style.
Not your scene.
They hug you from the front and the back at the same time. I got uncomfortable with him because the way he was acting to try and get me to hang out with him was like, "Yo, I'll take you shopping." Like, and I'm like, "What you mean?" Like, that's something you say to a woman you're attracted to, maybe.
Right.
It's just weird, bro. Like, and now you start to see a lot of the weird stuff that was there. It looks like it all lines up, don't it? It was not in the closet. It was in front of you, and you wasn't seeing it because you see the beards, or you see the girls. So you didn't look at them the way it actually is to a degree. And when I say people respond, how people respond to things matter, like the internet will take to it and just go off with it. Meek responds being the uncomfortability. He goes, "Yo, nah, I gotta spend $100,000 to find out why my name is in this like this." And it's in it only because he's uncomfortable. You don't hear him talking about French. French was right there. Right? Why you get so quiet? You guys make me feel like I'm so scared.
Well, no, I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot.
No, they see this. You see this. They see this.
They see it.
Nah, you see this. They won't act like that. Oh, we got nothing to do with that. If we could just...
No, that ain't it.
The long-running tension between 50 Cent and Diddy has moved beyond nearly 2 decades of jokes and public jabs into far more serious territory. 50 Cent has suggested he holds insight into how certain public figures may have been affected after attending Diddy's tightly controlled gatherings, indicating that he intends to bring those claims into the open. What once appeared to be a personal rivalry has evolved into a high-stakes public confrontation, amplified by the anticipated release of a documentary series backed by Netflix, ensuring the dispute is unlikely to fade quietly. At this stage, the focus is less about entertainment or provocation and more about scrutiny, accountability, and who ultimately shapes the narrative. With reputations and legacies potentially at stake, the spotlight continues to intensify, and the pressure surrounding the situation shows little sign of easing.